I'm Olly Bennett from Cardboard Sword here with the Siege and the Sandfox. It's our 2D Stealthvania, so it's a Metroidvania and stealth game combined into one.
And it's really important that you have a portmanteau there. Metroidvania, Stealthvania, you've got to have your own.
It works as a good hashtag, and it says in one word, granted it's a made-up word, but it says in one word exactly what the genre is, what the game is, and the fact that there's stealth in it.
So this is 2D, it's all pixel art.
It's pixel art in a 16-bit style, with modern effects from Unreal.
And it's essentially, you know, it's one of these sprawling maps where do you have the sort of opening gradually while the players play through the game, different parts of the map?
So our map, unlike a lot of Metroidvanias, and certainly the traditional ones, it's all continuous. There's no sort of screen-to-screen loading, there's no loading times at all, so you move from one area to the next. So it's all continuous. Now, to tutorialize the new sections, we have a tutorial section that's relatively linear to the rest of the game. As you get to the end of that, it kind of opens up a bit more and allows the player to essentially go where they want from the very beginning.
And how does the stealth play sort of feed into that?
So unlike traditional Metroidvanias where you go from room to room and the enemies respawn and you shoot at them, and we wanted a slower game, a more deliberate game in your actions and how you interact with the environment. Our team are big fans of stealth games, and so we always wanted to bring that into the Metroidvania. And as far as we're aware, it's not really been done before. You know, you've got 2D stealth games like Mark of the Ninja, but in terms of a Metroidvania, to our knowledge, it's not been done. So we thought that was a cool new way of doing the genre.
Are there any games that your stealth plays out similar to, like Mark of the Ninja, as you said? Is there something that people, like a reference point for people?
So Mark of the Ninja absolutely is an influence. We currently plan to have things like the audio circles to indicate how loud you're being, and last known position ghosts so that you can tell where the AI think you are.
In Metroid, obviously, a big part of it is collecting sort of upgrades. Is that part of this as well?
So we have an unlock structure, but it's not done through character development. So you can't suddenly magically double jump or have laser eyes or anything like that. So we've gated it in various other ways. We have a lot of NPCs that sort of progress the story through interaction. They'll have a need through dialogue that you'll work out as the player, rather than sort of an overt mission structure. And
so more like the Dark Souls way of gating areas.
So NPC hard gating will have some equipment and items that you can collect along the way, which will help you to get to places you couldn't get to before. But as a character, we wanted the innate abilities that your character has to be there the whole way, because you're an elite assassin. You don't. In something like The Witcher, which is obviously a great game, but Geralt starts off as this super famous Witcher, but then he gets mauled by a few wolves, and you feel pathetic, right? We wanted your character to start off as adept as they are at the end of the game, and familiarity in the controls is kind of also a gate. As the user becomes more adept with it, they're able to get to places they couldn't get to before.
Do you think someone that would come back to it after mastering it would be able to do better or get further quicker?
Yeah, well, so speedrunning is something we really want players to do, so we're going to make sure that there's ways to do that. We want players to ghost the game, so we want to make it harder, so possibly have difficulty settings that remove certain elements of the game that explain sort of how far you can be heard, how far you can be seen, and let players be able to learn it well enough to do that and make it more challenging. We will hopefully have sort of a new game plus that might perhaps have certain bits at the start, but yeah, there will be replayability to it.
So what do you do on the game? What's your role?
So I run Cardboard Sword. So as CEO, I do all the biz dev, all the marketing, HR, PR, tax returns, and when I get a bit of time between those sort of tasks, it's a bit of level design. So I get into Unreal, into the tile map editor, and paint levels, and sort of introduce gameplay bits where we can do certain jumps. Yeah, but that's kind of a holiday from filling out forms mostly.
So this is all made in Unreal using a special plugin.
So we're building it in Paper 2D, which is an official Unreal plugin, and it enables you to have things like a tile map editor and various other 2D tools. We've adapted it for our own purposes to make it a bit more efficient. So things like copying between tile map layers and other functions that make it save our developers and artists lots of time. But yeah, 2D is thought not to be able to be done in Unreal, and we're absolutely proving that wrong. And it's surprising we still get people asking if we're building it in other editors, even when we were on the Epic stand at GDC, and we had someone stood there, sort of with Epic, with Unreal written there, and Unreal in lights beneath our screen, and saying, "So is this built in Unity?" And they realised instantly after, like, oh no, okay, I get it, I understand. But
what prompted you to pick Unreal over Unity?
So there's quite a list of reasons. So team familiarity. We also, our coder prefers C++. We're planning our company's projects in the long term, and the next few projects are planned to be 3D. So establishing sort of tools, pipelines, and understanding and familiarity with the engine now will help us in the future with being more efficient, establishing relationships with Epic. It's a very powerful tool. Blueprint saves us an awful lot of time. It's very efficient for us. It means our designers can code, our artists can code, our audio guys can code. So our coder can get on with the hard sort of deep C++ stuff to do more bespoke coding.
Well, how many in your studio then? How many work on it?
So we have 6 full-time, 5 at the moment, but we're planning a 6th soon. And then we work with a number of contractors as well. So.
Okay, so like how long is that going to take you guys to get to somewhere where you can happily put this out? Have you got a release date?
We're not going to say just yet.
Have you got a queue? Do you know what queue you're going to be in?
We're going to be one of the queues.
One of the queues, okay. So you heard it here first.
Possibly a queue with a 4 or a queue with a 1. But yeah, look, we are fortunate with our relationship with Chucklefish that we don't have a publisher whipping our backs, and so we're going to make sure that the game is ready and as we want it to be, and released at a time of year that's not going to cripple us, such as Christmas. So we're not going to say now, but we're going to bear in mind where the market is and the quality of the game.
What are you looking to release on?
PC and console at the moment, but we're not currently announcing which specific platforms on either. But
okay, well, watch this space, I guess. Thank you very much for talking to us.
All right, thanks for having me. Cheers.